The emergency alarm echoed through the grand chamber of the Galactic Council. Council members from dozens of different worlds rushed to their floating seats. Their translator devices buzzed with worried voices. Something bad was happening. High Coordinator Zexthal stood at the center platform. His blue skin looked almost purple under the stress lights. He was a Zilarian, a species known for staying calm. But today even he looked nervous. His forearms moved quickly across the holographic controls, bringing up a star map that filled the entire room. Members of the council. Zexthal began. His voice amplified across the chamber. We have received a priority distress signal from the Viridian colony on Kelmar 7. The transmission is disturbing. The lights dimmed. A crackling video feed appeared. A female Viridian stood in what looked like a command center. Behind her, alarms flashed red. Her pale green skin was covered in sweat, and her large eyes were wide with fear. This is Governor Lisa of Kelmar 7 colony. We are under attack by the Krathak swarm. They have surrounded our planet with over 40 warships. They are demanding tribute we cannot pay. They say if we don't surrender in 3 standard days, they will bombard our cities. We have 12,000 colonists here. Most are civilians, scientists, families, children. Please, we need help. The transmission cut to static. The chamber erupted in panicked voices. Council members spoke over each other in dozens of languages. The translator system struggled to keep up. Order, Extal called out. We must have order. Slowly, the voices quieted. A tall, thin being stood up. She was Luminar, a species that looked almost like living light wrapped in a thin body. Her voice was soft and sad. High Coordinator, where are our peacekeeping forces? Surely we can send them to help. Zexthal's expression darkened. That is the problem, Council Member Shiara. Our nearest peacekeeping fleet is 3 weeks away. They are dealing with border disputes in the Outer Rim. Our second fleet is undergoing repairs after the asteroid collision last month. What about local forces? Someone asked from the back. Kelmar 7 is a frontier colony. They have no military, just basic security. The Krathak swarm has 40 warships. Even if we could send our peacekeeping forces, they only have 12 patrol ships. They would be destroyed. A heavy silence fell over the chamber. Everyone knew what this meant. The Viridians were going to die and the council could do nothing to stop it. Perhaps, a voice said hesitantly, it was a Thorian, a species covered in thick armor plates. Perhaps we could negotiate. Offer the Krathak something else? Negotiate with pirates? Another member shouted. That will only encourage more attacks. But we cannot just abandon 12,000 people. We have no choice. The argument started again, louder this time. Zexthal looked tired. In his long career, he had never felt so helpless. In the back of the chamber, in a section reserved for newer council members, sat Ambassador Chen. She was human. Her species had only joined the Galactic Council 5 standard years ago. Humans were still new, still learning how the galaxy worked. Most other species found them. Odd Chen was small compared to many council members. She had dark hair tied back in a simple style, and she wore the plain blue uniform of Earth's diplomatic corps. She had been listening quietly, her face calm, but her eyes were sharp, watching everything. She stood up. Her translator device clicked on. High Coordinator Zexthal, she said. Her voice was not loud, but something in it made everyone stop and listen. Humanity would like to offer assistance. Zexthal blinked his large eyes. Ambassador Chen, I appreciate the gesture, but this is a military matter. Your species is new to council space. You have no established military presence here. The Krathak swarm is dangerous. They are not. With respect, High Coordinator, Chen interrupted gently. We understand the danger, but Earth has ships that can reach Kelmar 7 in 18 hours. We would like to help. A ripple of surprise went through the chamber. 18 hours? That was impossible. Even the fastest council ships took days to cross that distance. A large bear-like creature stood up. He was from the Ursoth Confederation, one of the more aggressive species in the council. Ambassador, no disrespect to your species, but what could humans possibly send? The Krathaks have 40 warships. Unless you have a fleet hidden somewhere, I don't see how. We can send 3 ships, Chen said simply. The chamber went silent. Then someone laughed. Then more joined in. 3 ships? Against 40? It was ridiculous, but Chen didn't look embarrassed. She just waited for the laughter to stop. Ambassador, Zexthal said, trying to be kind. I understand you want to help, but 3 ships cannot stand against the Krathak swarm. It would be suicide. I cannot allow— You don't have to allow anything, High Coordinator. Chen's voice was polite but firm. The distress call was broadcast on open channels. Any species can respond. I'm simply informing the Council that humanity will respond. We're already moving. She pulled out a small communication device. This is Ambassador Chen. Execute Operation Lighthouse. Confirmed, Ambassador, a voice replied. Task Force 3 is jumping now. Chen looked back at the Council. If you'll excuse me, I need to coordinate with our ships. We'll update you when we arrive at Kelmar 7. She walked out of the chamber. Behind her, the Council erupted in confused voices. Did she just say they're already moving? 3 ships. What can 3 ships do? The humans are brave, I'll give them that. But this is foolish. Zexthal felt a strange unease in his stomach. He had read the human files. Humans came from a world called Earth. It was classified as a Class 12 death world. That meant it was extremely dangerous. High gravity, violent weather, aggressive predators, deadly diseases. Most Council species came from peaceful Class 2 or Class 3 worlds. How did that shape a species? What kind of people came from a world that was constantly trying to kill them? He moved to his personal console and brought up the sensor data from the edge of Council space. His 4 hands froze over the controls. 3 massive energy signatures had just appeared. They were moving fast, very fast, faster than anything the Council could build. His assistant, a young Zalarian named Pix, leaned over his shoulder. Sir, what are those readings? The signatures are enormous. They're bigger than our largest battleships. Tixthal ran the scan again. The computer confirmed what he was seeing. He felt his skin go cold. Those aren't escort ships, he whispered. Those aren't patrol vessels or transport ships. Then what are they, sir? Zexthal looked at the data, not quite believing it. Each signature showed enough weapons to destroy a small fleet. Enough armor to survive sustained bombardment. Enough power to level a city. Those are battlecruisers, he said quietly. The humans sent battlecruisers. Pix looked confused. But sir, the pirates only have 40 ships. Battlecruisers are for war, for large-scale combat. Why would anyone send battlecruisers to a rescue mission? Zexthal stared at the moving signatures on his screen. They were heading toward Kelmar 7 like missiles. Fast, direct, unstoppable. I don't know, he said. But I think we're about to learn something important about humanity. Something that perhaps we should have learned before we invited them to join the Council. On the screen, the 3 massive signatures continued their journey, and somewhere on those ships humans were preparing for battle. The galaxy was about to discover what Deathworlders brought to war. Captain Sarah Rodriguez stood on the bridge of the UHS Indomitable, watching the stars blur past. The bridge was large, efficient, and busy. Crew members sat at their stations, hands moving across holographic displays. Everything was calm, professional, ready. Rodriguez was 42 years old, tall and strong, with short brown hair that was starting to show gray at the edges. She had fought in the Titan Wars and survived the Mars Rebellion. She was good at her job, and her crew trusted her completely. Her first officer, Commander James Park, approached with a datapad. He looked confused. Captain, I'm reading the diplomatic briefings from the Council. They seem worried about us. Rodriguez raised an eyebrow. Worried? We're coming to help them. I know, ma'am. But look at this. He showed her the pad. The Council is asking us to exercise restraint and minimize violence. They're treating this like we're the threat, not the pirates. Rodriguez scrolled through the messages. There were dozens of them. Please don't be too aggressive. Please remember these are civilized space lanes. Please try to capture rather than destroy. Do they think we're just going to shoot everything that moves? She asked. Park shrugged. Maybe. I don't understand their perspective. We're the rescue mission. Rodriguez handed the pad back. Different cultures, Commander. Most Council species come from easy worlds. They've had peace for so long they've forgotten what real danger looks like. To them, we probably seem violent just for having weapons. She turned to her communications officer. Lieutenant Williams, open a channel to the Thunderchild and Defiant. I want a conference call in 5 minutes. Yes, ma'am. Rodriguez walked to the front viewport. Out there somewhere, 12,000 people were waiting to die. She wasn't going to let that happen. The conference call connected. 2 faces appeared on screens to her left and right. Captain Marcus Webb of the Thunderchild and Captain Elizabeth Okonkwo of the Defiant. Both were experienced officers. Both looked ready. Status? Rodriguez asked. Thunderchild ready for combat operations, Webb said. He was older than Rodriguez, with a white beard and calm eyes. All weapon systems green. Fighters prepped and ready to launch. Defiant is ready, Okonkwo added. She was younger, sharp and quick. Marines are suited up. Medical teams are standing by. Rodriguez nodded. Good. We drop out of FTL in 6 hours. Intel says we're facing 40 pirate vessels. Mixed classes, mostly corvettes and frigates, but at least 5 cruiser-class ships. Their commander is someone named Scarix the Render. Charming name, Webb muttered. The council wants us to be gentle. Rodriguez continued. Minimal force. Capture if possible. All 3 captains were silent for a moment. Then Okonkwo spoke carefully. Captain Rodriguez, with respect, we're talking about pirates who are threatening to kill 12,000 civilians. Children. And the council wants us to be gentle? That's what they're asking, yes. Webb leaned forward. Sarah, what are your orders? Rodriguez looked at both of them. We follow Earth military doctrine. We give them one chance to surrender. If they refuse, we remove the threat. Permanently. We didn't come all this way to negotiate with people who hurt innocents. Both captains nodded. They understood. But, Rodriguez added, we follow the rules of war. We don't target life pods. We don't shoot anyone who's surrendering. We're not monsters. We're professionals. Understood, ma'am. The call ended. Rodriguez went back to watching the stars. Behind her, the bridge crew worked quietly. They were ready. Far away in the Kelmar 7 system, Scarix the Render sat on his command throne. He was Krathax, a species that looked like a cross between a lizard and an insect. He had 4 arms, each ending in sharp claws. His face had too many teeth. Around him, his bridge crew worked at their stations. The bridge of his flagship, the Blood Reaper, smelled of oil and old metal. Everything was dark except for the red emergency lighting that Scarix preferred. Report, he growled. His second-in-command, a smaller Krathax named Vix, approached nervously. The Viridian colony has not responded to our demands, Lord Scarix. They are asking for more time. Then we will destroy one of their cities to show we are serious. Lord Scarix, the censor officer suddenly shouted. We have incoming ships. 3 signatures approaching fast. Scarix stood up from his throne. The council finally sent help. How many ships? Just 3, my lord. But they're moving very fast. Faster than anything I've seen before. 3 ships. Scarix laughed. His whole body shook with it. 3 ships dare to challenge my armada? Who is so foolish? The intelligence officer worked at his console. Checking now, my lord. The signature matches humans. I'm not familiar with humans? Scarix interrupted. I've never heard of them. Find out who they are. The intelligence officer searched his database. Here, my lord, humans. A new species in the council. They joined only 5 years ago. They come from a planet called Earth. It's classified as a Class 12 death world. A what? A death world, my lord. It means their home planet is extremely dangerous. High gravity, violent weather patterns, many predators, deadly diseases. Most council species come from Class 2 or 3 worlds. Class 12 is very high. Scarix waved a claw dismissively. So they come from a dangerous world. That doesn't make them dangerous. What kind of military do they have? The intelligence officer looked worried. Data is limited, my lord. But there's a note here. When humans first entered council space, a pirate crew tried to raid one of their colony ships. The pirates attacked what they thought was an unarmed transport. And the transport wasn't unarmed. The humans fought back, with improvised weapons. Civilians, my lord. Not soldiers. Just regular people. They killed the entire pirate boarding party and captured their ship. Scarix snorted. Civilians got lucky. What about their military? Almost no data, my lord. They keep their military capabilities very quiet. But there's a warning here from the Ursoth Confederation. It says humans have something they call redundant organs. They can survive injuries that would kill most species. Interesting, Scarix said. But it doesn't matter. They have 3 ships. I have 40. The math is simple. The censor officer spoke again. My lord, the human ships are dropping out of FTL. They're at the edge of the system. Show me. A holographic display appeared. 3 large shapes appeared at the system's edge. Even from here, Scarix could see they were big. Very big. Those are battlecruisers, his weapons officer said quietly. Battlecruisers, Scarix repeated. For a rescue mission? That's excessive. Maybe they're trying to scare us, my lord. Scarix laughed again. Then let's show them fear works both ways. Prepare weapons. When they get close enough, we'll... Incoming transmission, my lord, the communications officer said. From the human fleet. It's on all channels. They want everyone to hear it. Play it. A woman's face appeared on the screen. She was human, with dark eyes and a calm expression. She wore a dark blue uniform with symbols of rank on the collar. Behind her, Scarix could see a bridge that was clean, organized and professional. When she spoke, her voice was steady and cold. This is Captain Sarah Rodriguez of the United Human Systems Navy, commanding the battlecruiser Indomitable. We are accompanied by the battlecruisers Thunderchild and Defiant. We have received a distress call from the Viridian colony on Kelmar 7. To the colonists, we say this: help has arrived. To the Krathax swarm, we say this: you have 60 seconds to power down your weapons, release your blockade, and prepare to be boarded. If you do not comply, we will remove you by force. This is your only warning. The transmission ended. Scarix stared at the screen. Then he started laughing. His whole crew joined in nervously. Did she really just threaten us? With 3 ships? Scarix shook his head. These humans are either very brave or very stupid. Weapons officer, target the lead ship. Fire a full salvo. Let's teach them respect. Yes, my lord. The Blood Reaper's main cannons charged. Missiles launched. Energy beams cut through space. It was enough firepower to destroy a small moon. Everyone on the bridge waited to see the human ship explode. Instead, the weapons hit a shimmering shield and simply stopped. The energy dissipated. The missiles detonated against the barrier. When the light cleared, the Indomitable was still there. Undamaged. What? Scarix whispered. Sir, his weapons officer said, voice shaking. Our entire salvo did nothing. Their shields absorbed everything. Fire again. Sir, they're moving. All 3 ships are accelerating toward us. Scarix watched as the 3 human battlecruisers began to move. They weren't running. They weren't dodging. They were charging straight at his fleet, and they were accelerating faster than should be possible. All ships, Scarix shouted. Combat formation. Prepare for battle. But even as he gave the order, he felt something he hadn't felt in years. Fear. The humans were coming, and Scarix suddenly understood that he had made a terrible mistake. The battle began with light. The Krathax swarm opened fire with everything they had. 40 ships unleashed their weapons at once. Missiles streaked across space like angry fireflies. Energy beams cut through the darkness. Railgun rounds flew at incredible speeds. It was a wall of destruction that could destroy a city. The human ships didn't slow down. On the bridge of the Indomitable, Captain Rodriguez watched the incoming fire on her tactical display. Point defense, engage. Engaging, ma'am, the weapons officer replied. What happened next was something the Krathax had never seen. Small turrets on the human ships came alive. They moved with impossible speed and precision. They tracked every missile, every projectile, every threat, and they fired. The space between the 2 fleets turned into a light show. The human point defense systems intercepted 99 out of every 100 missiles. The few that got through hit shields that didn't even flicker. Railgun rounds that should have punched through armor were deflected or absorbed. In 20 seconds, the Krathax fired enough weapons to destroy a moon. In 20 seconds, they did almost no damage. On the Blood Reaper, Scarix stared at his screens in disbelief.
How is that possible?
His weapons officer's hands shook over his console. Sir, their point defense accuracy is... It's 99.8%. That's impossible. Our best systems only achieve 60%. Fire again. Everything we have. But Rodriguez wasn't waiting. All ships weapons free. Target their cruisers first. The Indomitable's main guns opened fire. The sound inside the ship was like thunder. 3 massive railguns launched projectiles at a significant fraction of light speed. The rounds crossed the distance between the fleets in seconds. The first Krathax cruiser never saw it coming. The railgun round hit it directly in the center. The ship didn't explode. It simply broke apart, torn in half by the kinetic force. Pieces spun away into space. One down, the weapons officer reported calmly. Continue firing, Rodriguez ordered. Thunderchild, Defiant, free engagement. Take them apart. All 3 human battlecruisers opened fire together. It was a demonstration of precision violence. Every shot hit its target. Every target was neutralized. The Krathax formation began to collapse almost immediately. On the Blood Reaper, alarms screamed. Sir, we've lost the Dark Fang. The Night Terror is breaking apart. The shadow's edges, I can see it, Scarix roared. All ships scatter pattern. Don't let them target you. But scattering made it worse. The human ships didn't target randomly. They were hunting methodically, working as a perfect team. One battlecruiser would damage a ship, the next would finish it. No wasted shots, no hesitation, and then the fighters launched. From the belly of the Indomitable, dozens of small craft emerged. They were human fighter ships, each carrying a pilot who had trained their whole life for this moment. The pilots flew like nothing the Krathax had ever seen. They pulled turns that should have been impossible. They accelerated in ways that should have killed them from the G-forces alone. They dodged and weaved through weapons fire like they were dancing. One Krathax gunner managed to get a lock on a human fighter. He fired. Direct hit. The fighter took the blast and kept flying. Its shields held. What are these things made of? The gunner screamed. The answer was simple. Humans built their fighters to survive, because human pilots could survive forces that would kill most other species. Their bodies were stronger. Their bones were denser. Their muscles could handle the punishment. Evolution on a death world had made them perfect for war. The fighters swarmed the Krathax ships like angry insects. They targeted weapon systems, engines, communications arrays. Within minutes, half the Krathax fleet was crippled. Scarix watched his fleet die. Ships that had taken years to build were destroyed in seconds. Crews that had followed him for decades were gone, and the humans hadn't even been scratched. Retreat, he finally screamed. All ships jump to FTL. Retreat. Some ships tried to run. Their engines powered up, preparing to jump away. Rodriguez saw it happening. Helm pursuit course. Don't let them escape, ma'am, her helmsman asked. They're retreating. Shouldn't we let them go? Rodriguez's expression was cold. They threatened to kill 12,000 civilians, children. They don't get to run away and do this to someone else. Pursue. The Indomitable accelerated. Its engines were more powerful than anything the Council had built. Within seconds, it caught the fleeing Krathax ships. On Kelmar 7, Governor Lissa watched the battle through the colony's sensors. Her hands gripped her chair so hard her knuckles were white. They're winning, her aide whispered. The humans are actually winning. Yes, Lisa said quietly. But look at how they fight. They're not just defending. They're hunting. She was right. The human ships moved with a predator's grace. They weren't satisfied with just stopping the attack. They were eliminating the threat completely. A transmission came through. It was Captain Rodriguez. Governor Lissa, this is Captain Rodriguez. The immediate threat is neutralized. We're pursuing the remaining hostile vessels. Please prepare to receive medical teams and supplies. We'll have people on the ground within the hour. Captain, Lysa said, trying to keep her voice steady. The pirates are fleeing. You've driven them off. You can stop now. There was a pause. When Rodriguez spoke again, she sounded confused. Governor, we haven't stopped. We're still pursuing, but they're running away. Exactly. They attacked civilians. We need to make sure they can't do it to anyone else. Lisa felt a chill run down her spine. Captain, I appreciate what you're doing, but they're retreating. Isn't that enough? Another pause. Governor, I need to ask you something. If we let them go, what stops them from attacking another colony next week? Or next month? What stops them from coming back here when we leave? Lisa had no answer. These people, Rodriguez continued, threatened to kill children. Our children, your children, someone's children. Where I come from, that's not something you walk away from. That's something you stop, permanently. The transmission ended. Lisa looked at her tactical display. The battle was over in less than 23 minutes. Of the 40 Krathax ships, 15 were destroyed completely. Just debris floating in space. 18 were crippled, their engines dead, their weapons offline. Human Marines were already boarding them. 7 had escaped to FTL, but Lysa's sensors showed something strange. Each escaping ship had a small human tracking device attached to it. The humans knew exactly where they were going. Pull up the boarding footage, Lissa ordered. I want to see these human Marines. The screen changed. It showed the interior of a Krathax ship. The Krathax crew had barricaded themselves in a corridor. They had plasma rifles and were ready to fight. Then the human Marines arrived. They wore armor that looked heavy and strong. They moved with practiced efficiency. When the Krathax opened fire, the Marines advanced through it. One Marine took a direct plasma hit to the chest. The impact should have killed him. Instead, he stumbled back, checked his armor, and kept moving forward. Did he just Survive that? Lyssa's aide asked. The Marines reached the Krathax position. What followed wasn't a battle. It was a demonstration. The humans fought with a combination of overwhelming force and precise control. They used non-lethal weapons where possible. When Krathax surrendered, the humans immediately stopped shooting and provided medical care. But when Krathax kept fighting, the humans ended threats quickly and efficiently. One large Krathax warrior charged a human Marine with a blade. The Marine caught the blade with her armored hand, broke it, and then used a strange move to flip the Krathax onto his back. Within seconds, the warrior was restrained and being dragged away for medical treatment. "They're so strong," Lisa whispered. "How are they so strong?" Her science officer pulled up the human profile data. "Governor, humans come from a world with gravity 30% higher than ours. Their bones are 3 times denser than ours. Their muscles are designed for a world that was constantly trying to kill them, and they have something called redundant organs. They have backup systems for almost everything. What kind of world creates people like that?" "A death world, ma'am. A Class 12 death world." On the Indomitable, Rodriguez watched as her Marines secured the pirate ships. Her crew worked efficiently. Medical teams were preparing to go to the planet's surface. Supply ships were being loaded with food and medicine. Commander Park approached. "Captain, the Council is hailing us. They sound concerned." Rodriguez almost smiled. "I bet they are. Put them through." High Coordinator Zexthal appeared on screen. He looked shaken. "Captain Rodriguez, the Council is grateful for your assistance, but we must ask, was all that destruction necessary? 15 ships destroyed, many dead?" Rodriguez felt her expression harden. "High Coordinator, those pirates threatened to kill 12,000 civilians. They weren't going to negotiate. They weren't going to leave peacefully. They came here to hurt people. We stopped them. But 15 ships, would you prefer we had let them go, so they could attack another colony next month? Another 1,000 civilians? Another group of children?" Rodriguez leaned forward. "High Coordinator, where I come from we have a saying. The only thing necessary for evil to triumph is for good people to do nothing. We did something." Zixthal was quiet for a long moment. "I see. The Council will want to discuss this." 3 days after the battle, human medical teams were still working on Kelmar 7. They moved through the colony with efficiency that amazed the Viridians. They set up hospitals in hours. They treated injuries that local doctors said were untreatable. They worked 20-hour shifts without complaint. Governor Lissa walked through one of the human medical tents. She watched a human doctor perform surgery on a Viridian child who had been injured in the panic. The conditions were basic. The equipment was portable. But the doctor worked with steady hands and calm confidence. "Will she be okay?" Lisa asked. The doctor didn't look up from her work. "She'll be fine. The injury looked worse than it was. She'll be running around in a few days. You're very skilled. I'm a combat surgeon. I've worked in worse conditions. On Earth, we learn to adapt." Lissa watched for a moment longer, then moved outside. The human camp was organized but felt strange to her. Human children played near the medical tents. Some humans were exercising in Kelmar 7's wilderness without protective suits. One human was sitting under a tree eating lunch while a small creature sat next to him. Is that a snake?" Lissa's aide asked nervously. A human soldier nearby smiled. "Yeah, that's Jenkins' pet. It's a corn snake. Harmless to humans. He brought it from Earth. But it has venom, doesn't it? Now, corn snakes aren't venomous. But if you want to see something cool, Lieutenant Park has a tarantula. Big spider. Very gentle." Lissa felt dizzy. Humans kept predators as pets. They exercised in environments that Viridians needed environmental suits to survive. And they thought it was normal. "Your people are very different from us," she said quietly. The soldier shrugged. "I guess. But we're here to help. That's what matters, right?" On the Indomitable, Captain Rodriguez sat in her ready room reviewing reports. The battle had been a success. No human casualties. Minimal damage to their ships. The Viridian colony was safe, but the aftermath was complicated. Commander Park entered with a worried expression. "Captain, you need to see this. The Galactic Council is having an emergency session." "About us." Rodriguez pulled up the transmission. The council chamber was packed. Every member species was present, and they were arguing loudly. High Coordinator Zexthal was trying to maintain order. "Please, we must discuss this calmly." A Luminar representative stood up. Her body glowed with agitation. "There is nothing calm about what the humans did. They destroyed 15 ships, killed hundreds. This is not how the Council operates. They saved 12,000 lives, a Thorian representative countered. Lives that we were about to abandon. But at what cost? The humans used weapons we banned centuries ago. Railguns at relativistic speeds. Do you understand how dangerous those are? Do you understand how dangerous the Krathax swarm was? Ambassador Chen stood up. The chamber quieted slightly. She had been listening to the debate for an hour. Now she was ready to speak. Members of the Council, she began, her voice calm. I understand your concerns, but I must ask you something. What would you have done? The Luminar representative responded. We would have negotiated, found a peaceful solution. The Krathax were threatening to kill children. Chen said flatly, what exactly would you negotiate with? How do you find peace with people who profit from terror? Violence should always be the last resort. It was the last resort. Captain Rodriguez gave them a chance to surrender. They chose to fight. What happened next was their choice. A large, bear-like Ursoth stood up. Ambassador Chen, no one questions the humans' bravery. But your methods concern us. You fight like you're trying to exterminate your enemies, not defeat them. Chen was quiet for a moment. Then she spoke, and her words made the whole chamber listen. You're right. We do fight like that. Do you know why? Because on Earth we learned something very important. We learned that the strong must protect the weak. Not because it's easy. Not because it's profitable, but because it's right. She pulled up a holographic display. It showed Earth. Beautiful blue and green with white clouds. This is our home. Class 12 Deathworld. For millions of years, nature tried to kill us. Diseases, predators, weather, earthquakes, volcanoes. Our planet was constantly testing us. And do you know what we learned? No one answered. We learned that survival means community. We learned that the individual is weak, but the group is strong. We learned that when someone is in danger, you help them. Not because you have to. Because if you don't, your whole community dies. Chen looked around the chamber. You come from gentle worlds, peaceful worlds. You evolved in paradise. And that's wonderful. But it means you forgot something important. You forgot that evil exists. You forgot that some people will hurt others just because they can. And you forgot how to stop them. The Luminar representative spoke softly. So you think violence is the answer? No, Chen said firmly. I think violence is sometimes necessary. There's a difference. We don't want to fight. But when children are in danger, we will. Every time. Without hesitation. Ziexthal spoke carefully. Ambassador, the Council appreciates humanity's assistance. But we must ask, what do you want? What does Earth want from us? Chen smiled slightly. We want to help. Captain Rodriguez and her ships will patrol this sector for the next 6 months, free of charge. We want to be good neighbors. We want to prove that humans can be trusted. And after 6 months, that's up to you. If you want us to leave, we'll leave. If you want us to stay, we'll talk about it. The council chamber was quiet. Then the Thorian representative stood. I vote we accept the human offer. We need protection on the frontier. The humans have proven they can provide it. I second that, said an Ursoth representative. One by one, council members voted. It wasn't unanimous. The Luminar voted against it. But the majority voted yes, Chen nodded. Thank you. We won't let you down. Later, in Rodriguez's ready room, she and Chen spoke via secure channel. Well, that went better than expected, Rodriguez said. Chen smiled tiredly. Half of them are terrified of us. The other half see us as useful tools, but it's a start. Any word on the escaped Krathax ships? Chen's expression darkened. That's actually why I called. Our tracking beacons show all 7 ships went to the same location. A hidden base in the shattered nebula, and it gets worse. How much worse? Intelligence suggests it's not just a base. It's the main headquarters of the entire Krathax operation. All their forces. All their leaders. Rodriguez leaned back in her chair. How many ships are we talking about? Estimates say around 200. Rodriguez was quiet for a long moment. 200 ships, yes, and they know about us now. They know we destroyed 40 of their ships. Yes, Rodriguez smiled grimly. Then they're going to come after us. They have to. We made them look weak. If they don't respond, every pirate crew in the galaxy will think they can be beaten. That's what our analysts think too. They're predicting a major attack within the next 3 months. Good, Chen blinked. Good? We came here to stop the Krathax swarm, Not just chase them away, stop them. If they're gathering all their forces in one place, that makes our job easier. Sarah, 200 ships. We have 3 battlecruisers. Then we'll get more ships. And Chen? Start talking to the council species. The Thorians, the Ursoth. Anyone who's tired of pirates. If the Krathax are going to bring their whole fleet, we should bring ours too. Chen was quiet. Then she smiled. You want to build an alliance? The Krathax think we're alone. They think the council is weak. Let's prove them wrong on both counts. Far away, in a hidden base carved into an asteroid in the shattered nebula, Terrax the Undying watched the battle footage for the 100th time. He was old for a Krathax. His scales were scarred from 1,000 battles. He had ruled the Krathax swarm for 30 years, and he had never been frightened of anyone until now. His second-in-command approached carefully. Lord Terrax, all ships are reporting in. We have 200 vessels ready for combat. The survivors from Kelmar 7 have given us detailed information about the humans. Show me. The tactical display lit up. It showed everything the Krathax knew about humanity. Their ships, their weapons, their tactics. They're dangerous, the second-in-command said. But they're not invincible. They have 3 ships. We have 200. The math is simple. Terrax studied the data. They fight like apex predators, efficient, brutal, no hesitation. Yes, my lord. But there's still only 3 ships. Terrax was quiet for a long time. Then he spoke. No, we're not going to attack them directly. My lord? Think about it. They came to Kelmar 7 because someone sent a distress call. They're protectors. They respond to threats. Understanding dawned on his second-in-command's face. You want to lure them into a trap. Exactly. We'll hit a mining station. Make it obvious. Wait for them to respond. And when they do, we'll have 200 ships waiting. But my lord, what if they bring more ships? Terrax smiled, showing all his teeth. Then we'll learn exactly what these humans are capable of. And we'll know whether to fear them or conquer them. He turned back to the battle footage. 3 human ships had destroyed 40 of his vessels in 23 minutes. What could 200 do to 3? He was about to find out. And somewhere in the dark of space, human ships patrolled. Their sensors swept the stars. Their weapons stayed ready. Captain Rodriguez stood on her bridge, looking out at the stars, and waited. The distress call came at 0300 hours ship time. Captain Rodriguez was already awake when the alarm sounded. She had learned long ago to trust her instincts, and her instincts had been screaming at her for days that something was wrong. Captain, to the bridge, the intercom announced. We have a priority distress signal. Rodriguez arrived on the bridge in less than 2 minutes. Commander Park was already there, studying the tactical display. What do we have? Rodriguez asked. Mining station Delta 7, ma'am. It's on the edge of the sector. They report they're under attack by Krathax forces. Heavy casualties. They're requesting immediate assistance. Rodriguez studied the display. Delta 7 was 3 hours away at maximum speed. It was isolated, far from any major shipping lanes. How many ships are attacking? They report 10 ships, ma'am. Rodriguez frowned. Only 10? Park nodded slowly. I know. It seems too easy. It's a trap, Rodriguez said flatly. They want us to come running. Should we ignore it? Rodriguez looked at the distress signal. Real people were dying. Maybe it was a trap. But maybe those people were real. No, we go. But we go smart. Communications. Send a message to the Thunderchild and Defiant. Tell them to jump to these coordinates and wait. Don't approach until I give the word. Yes, ma'am. And get me Ambassador Chen. Now. 5 minutes later, Chen's face appeared on the screen. She looked tired. Captain, it's 3 in the morning Earth time. This better be important. It is. We have a distress call. It's probably a trap. The Krathax want us to come to them. Chen was suddenly very awake. How many ships? My guess? All of them. 200 or more. Chen was quiet for a moment. Can you win? Against 200? With 3 ships? No. Then what do you need? Rodriguez smiled grimly. I need you to call in some favors. The Thorians have been talking about helping with frontier security. The Ursoth want to prove they're still warriors. Even some of the Luminar might help if you ask nicely. You want to build a fleet. I want to show the Krathax that humanity doesn't fight alone. We make friends. We build alliances. That's what they'll never understand. Chen nodded. I'll make the calls. How long do I have? 3 hours. Maybe 4. That's not much time. It'll have to be enough. And Chen? Tell them this isn't just about protecting one mining station. This is about ending the Krathak swarm forever. Tell them if they want peace on the frontier, they need to fight for it. Understood. Good hunting, Captain. The transmission ended. Rodriguez turned to her crew.
Helm set course for Delta 7.
Maximum speed. But stay alert. The moment we see something wrong, we're jumping out. Yes, ma'am. 3 hours later, the Indomitable dropped out of FTL at the edge of the Delta 7 system. What they saw made everyone on the bridge go silent. Ships. Dozens of them. Hundreds of them. They surrounded the mining station like a swarm of angry insects. And they were all Krathaks. Count? Rodriguez asked quietly. The sensor officer's hand shook slightly. 207 ships, ma'am. All combat vessels. They're just waiting. Waiting for us, Park said. It really was a trap. Is the mining station still there? Yes, ma'am. They have it blockaded, but I'm reading life signs. They haven't destroyed it yet. Rodriguez understood. They were using the station as bait. Kill the station and the humans might not come. Keep it alive and the humans would have to try to save it. Open a channel to the Krathak's fleet. A face appeared on screen. It was Terex the Undying. He was older than Scarix had been. His scales covered in scars. His eyes gleamed with intelligence and cruelty. Captain Rodriguez, he said, his voice smooth. How kind of you to accept my invitation. Release the mining station and surrender. This is your only chance, Terex laughed. Surrender? To 3 ships? I have 200. Your bravery is admirable, but this is mathematics. You cannot win. Rodriguez smiled coldly. You're right about one thing. Mathematics matter. You have 200 ships, but you made one mistake. And what is that? You assumed we'd come alone? Rodriguez made a gesture. Park pressed a button, and space erupted with new arrivals. 6 more human battlecruisers dropped out of FTL behind the Indomitable. But they weren't alone. 30 Thorian cruisers appeared on the left flank. 20 Ursoth battleships materialized on the right. And behind them all, 15 Luminar hospital ships took position, their shields already active. Terex's expression changed from confidence to shock in an instant. Ambassador Chen's voice came over the open channel. You wanted to know what humans bring to the galaxy? We bring this alliance, friendship, community. You thought we were alone. You were wrong. Rodriguez leaned forward. You have 60 seconds to surrender. After that, we remove you. All of you. Permanently. Terex stared at the fleet facing him. His 200 ships suddenly didn't seem like enough. You're bluffing. Your council species are weak. They won't fight, a Thorian voice came over the channel. We are tired of running from pirates. Today we stand with humanity. An Ursoth commander added, the humans showed us something we forgot. How to be warriors again. Even a Luminar spoke, her voice soft but firm. We are healers, not fighters. But we will not abandon those who protect us. We stand with humanity. Terex's hands clenched. He had lost before the battle even began. But pride wouldn't let him surrender. All ships, he snarled. Attack. The Krathak's fleet surged forward. 200 ships against a combined fleet of 71. But the numbers didn't tell the whole story. The human battlecruisers formed the tip of the spear, their shields absorbing the initial barrage. Behind them, the Thorian cruisers provided electronic warfare, jamming Krathak's communications and sensors. The Ursoth battleships brought raw firepower, their heavy cannons tearing through enemy hulls. And in the center, the Luminar hospital ships waited, ready to save any life they could. Regardless of species, the battle was chaos. Ships exploded. Weapons fire lit up the darkness. But this time it was different. This time, the Krathaks were outmatched. Human fighters swarmed through the battle, their pilots flying with impossible skill. Thorian missiles struck with precision. Ursoth cannons roared with ancient fury. On the Indomitable, Rodriguez coordinated the fleet with calm efficiency. Thunderchild, cover the Thorian left flank. Defiant, protect the Luminar ships. All human vessels target the cruiser-class ships first. The battle flowed like a dance. Each species played to their strengths. The humans tanked damage and dealt devastating blows. The Thorians disrupted and confused. The Ursoth smashed and destroyed. The Luminar saved lives. It was everything the Krathaks weren't. It was coordination, trust, alliance. Terex watched his fleet break apart. He had trained his warriors to fight for themselves, to take what they wanted, to trust no one. But the fleet facing him fought as one, each ship protecting the others. Each species supporting the rest, sir, we're losing, his second-in-command shouted. We need to retreat. No, Terrax roared. I will not run from... A human railgun round punched through his ship's shields and armor. The Blood Reaper shuddered. Alarm screamed. The lights flickered. All hands, abandon ship, someone yelled. Terrax sat in his command throne watching his empire crumble. 30 years of work. Gone in one battle. Human Marines boarded his ship. They moved through the corridors with practiced efficiency. When they reached the bridge, they found Terrax still sitting on his throne. The lead Marine was a woman with sergeant stripes on her armor. She pointed her weapon at Terrax. You have the right to surrender. Medical assistance will be provided. Terrax laughed bitterly. You offer me mercy? After I tried to kill you? The Marine's expression was unreadable behind her helmet. That's what we do. We stop threats, but we don't kill people who surrender. That's not who we are. Terrax looked at her for a long moment. Then he slowly raised his hands. I surrender. The battle ended 20 minutes later. Of the 207 Krathax ships, 43 were destroyed. 116 surrendered. 48 escaped to FTL, but this time everyone knew it was over. The Krathax swarm was broken. Their leadership captured. Their fleet scattered. On the Indomitable, Rodriguez received reports from all ships. Human casualties moderate. Thorian casualties light. Ursoth casualties acceptable. Luminar ships undamaged. But their medical bays were full of wounded from all sides, including captured Krathax. Ambassador Chen appeared on screen, this time from the council chambers. Behind her, Rodriguez could see hundreds of council members. Captain Rodriguez, Chen said formally, the Galactic Council has voted. Unanimously. Rodriguez waited. The council requests that humanity takes a permanent role in frontier security. We're also offering training programs, joint exercises, and full integration into Council defense forces. Rodriguez nodded slowly. We accept. On one condition. Zexthal appeared on screen next to Chen. What condition? We do it our way. We train your people how to fight, how to protect, how to stand together. No more running from threats. No more abandoning colonies. We face danger head-on as allies. Zexthal was quiet. Then he smiled, a gesture he had learned from humans. Agreed. 3 months later, on Kelmar 7, they unveiled a monument. It was simple. A stone pillar with 3 names carved into it. Indomitable. Thunderchild. Defiant. Governor Lissa spoke at the ceremony. These names represent something new in our galaxy. They represent the moment we learned that strength and compassion can exist together.